Hello, my friends. I sincerely apologize for part 2 taking longer than anticipated, but as most of you would most likely know, the news came through thick and fast this weekend. I must also mention that I literally had hundreds of email with tips and photographs and just everything you can possibly imagine. At the end of the day, I had to redo part 2 to be more inclusive of fair reporting. Okay, so let's start off part 2. I'm going to start off by talking about security and the possible dangers for royals. I was surprised to find that the only royals who do have 24/7 royal security are the Queen and Prince Philip, Charles and Camilla, William, Kate, and their children. All other royals only have royal protection when at royal events. Other than that, they have to arrange their own security either for themselves or at their homes and pay for it themselves. And it has been like this since 2011. Anyway, so Meghan was so worried about her husband's safety while in Canada and the United States. And during this interview, she spent significant time talking about security for Archie. Well, the first question that pops up was, why was it necessary for Charles to pay for their security if, one, they were no longer working royals? And as I understand it, your ex-boss is not responsible for your safety and security when you leave the company, or in their case, the firm. Secondly, the Canadian government paid for their security while they were in Canada. Not that the Canadians liked it when they found out about it, but it is protocol that when a working royal visits a country, that the country they visit will pay for their security. Okay, but then they returned to Britain and announced that they will no longer be working members of the royal family. So as from that day, no country had to pay for their security anymore. And hence why Donald Trump said that the United States will not pay for their security. Because, like I said, they were no longer working royals when they went to the United States. But it doesn't stop there. It had been confirmed to me that while they lived in Tyler Perry's mansion, that Mr. Perry actually paid for additional security, and that Mr. Perry, at any point in time while they were staying there, had up to 4 security guards at the gate only, and that is not counting bodyguards and other guards on the premises itself, all paid for by Tyler Perry and not Harry and Meghan. Now, talking about the security that Tyler had installed at his mansion on behalf of Harry and Meghan, if the security was so tight, and I believe it was because my information came from a trusted source and not a gossiper, why then was it possible for photographs of them to be taken on the premises? And here is your first bit of royal tea. Well, we can't call it royal tea anymore because Harry and Meghan are not royal anymore. But let's say your first bit of gossip. We'll call it gossip for today. Or let's call it juicy info. Remember that photograph of Doria and Archie, supposedly taken by a drone? Remember how I got an expert to confirm that it was not taken by a drone? Remember how I told you it was not taken in the driveway, as they indicated on a little insert picture in the article in the German magazine? And I told you it wasn't taken in the driveway because there was like a drainage ditch covered with some sort of grid, and that ditch was between two wings of Tyler Perry's mansion. If you guys can't remember me telling you about it, then just go look for the video. I did 2 videos on it. One I did before I had the expert analyzing the picture, and the one I did after. Anyway, well, today, or a couple of days ago, it was confirmed to me that the photograph was not taken by a drone, and it was not taken in the driveway. It was taken from a second floor window of Tyler Perry's mansion. And please don't ask me how I know that. Just take my word for it that I know that. Okay, so if the Canadian government paid for their security while they were in Vancouver, and Tyler Perry paid for their security while they were living in his mansion, why did Meghan keep fighting with the royal family for security? Or was it money for security? The key word obviously being money. When she harassed Parliament about money for security, what was she thinking? Did she seriously think that British Parliament had any responsibility to pay for their security in another country? But I'll address paranoia versus being money hungry later. For now, I want to address something else. If Meghan and Harry are so concerned about their security, why are they so hell-bent on causing security issues for other members of Harry's family? Have any of you heard either Harry or Meghan calling for their fans and squad members to calm down? Have any of you heard either Harry or Meghan criticizing their fans for calling on each other to, and these are their words, take Catherine out? Don't you believe me? Look at only the few tweets I photographed. So it's okay for Meghan and Harry to bleat about being unprotected in Canada and America, which they weren't and they aren't, but at the same time, it is okay for them to incite hatred and increased danger for Harry's brother and sister-in-law. How and in which world is this okay? And answer me this. How is this not treason? How is this not wrong? But have any of you seen the media reporting on this? Have you heard anyone calling this out? Is it okay with Oprah that her $9 million interview has increased the danger for 2 young people and their young children? I'm stating this loud and clear. If William and Catherine or any of their children get hurt, Oprah, Meghan, and Harry will be solely responsible. And talking about money, it has also come out over the weekend that Prince Charles gave Harry hundreds of thousands of pounds when he left. Firstly, as a sort of a severance package. Secondly, to help him set himself up. So why the heck should he, Charles, have given them more money? It is also said that Charles did indeed help them throughout the past year. And it's said by one of the courtiers that there are bank statements to prove it. Anyway, let's move on. And now, let us talk about mental health and Meghan's claim that she was so depressed that she thought of taking her own life when she was 5 months pregnant. She, in particular, spoke about the night they attended the Cirque du Soleil performance in the Royal Albert Hall. So I went and watched video clip after video clip, and what I found was that both Harry and Meghan looked just fine arriving. They looked fine until they were introduced, and someone from the audience booed them. Thereafter, Meghan continued to smile, but Harry looked uncomfortable and even sick. But let us not stick to that one night. Let us have a look at the weeks before and the weeks after. Let us look at the whole of the 5th month of the pregnancy, because the kind of depression that will cause you thoughts of killing yourself does not come and go in one night. And here, just quickly, is a list of engagements for January 2019 with a few photographs to just give you some insight as to her body language. And I'm just going to keep quiet for a while so you can just catch up on the pics. Of course, nobody can tell what's going on in someone's head, but I put it to you that Meghan Markle may have been slightly depressed, but highly doubtful that she was suicidal in January 2019. Also note that she had her New York baby shower in early February 2019. Why, if she was so depressed and suicidal, why did she not share it with her friend Marcus Anderson or Jessica Mulroney? But again, if you want to, just look through the pictures and judge for yourself. It has now also surfaced that the friend of Diana's that Meghan went to see is Julia Samuel, a psychotherapist. Now, why did she not continue to see her? Or do you want to tell me that the woman refused to treat or advise her? And if so, why? Sorry guys, I do not believe that Meghan Markle was suicidal. And, like Piers Morgan said, she's welcome to come for me. I'm prepared to fall on the sword for my truth as well and my opinion. Now, as to mental health, Harry and Meghan are putting themselves out as mental health advocates. So why were they not concerned about the mental health of Harry's grandparents and in particular Prince Philip, who is still recuperating in a hospital when they opened their gops in the interview? Why were they not concerned about the mental health of William and Catherine? Catherine, who in one day after the interview received nearly 40,000 threats, derogatory emails, and comments on a variety of platforms. William must have been severely traumatized, or at least traumatized enough when he hit back at a journalist when asked whether the royal family is racist, something which is almost unheard of when it comes to the royals. They usually would just ignore and walk on. But I, for one, do not blame William for giving a retort to that rude and insulting question by that two-bit journalist. The royals are human, just like you and me, and I, for one, do not expect them to remain quiet when such unsubstantiated, damaging allegations are thrown at them. When have Harry and Meghan ever cared about the mental health of Thomas Markle, Meghan's father? Yet have you seen anyone asking the same question in mainstream media? Yes, here on YouTube and other social media platforms, we are doing our bit. But is it enough? I shall, however, take one step further and will be sending links to this video, just like I did on the previous one, to CBS and possibly the Daily Mail. In my opinion, Oprah, Harry, and Meghan are despicable, deplorable human beings. And Oprah, who is supposed to be a humanitarian, should have pulled the plug on the interview, or at least have cut it down to half an hour instead of increasing it to 2 hours. And now let us look at and talk about something not directly linked to the interview. Let's once again talk about Archie. We all know that Meghan has an agenda with everything she does. We are all highly aware that Meghan's main objective is to make money and that she expects payment for every photograph. And hence we all agreed that the fact that she is not keen on sharing photographs of Archie is because she would only consider offers with a financial reward attached. But now that we have seen the clip of them with Archie on the beach, we have seen the photograph of Meghan and Archie on Instagram posted by Silver Tree, and naturally it had again brought up the old matter of Archie's birth and the mystery that still surrounds it. This time, however, people are tired of the whole saga, and investigations have become more in-depth. And so it was that a woman who has an Instagram page discovered a tweet by Richard Bradford, the 7th Earl of Bradford, husband of Dr. Penelope Law, or Lady Bradford, whom the Sussexes said was the obstetrician who delivered Archie at the Portland hospital. Well, Richard Bradford tweeted that his wife did not deliver Archie. I'm putting a copy of his tweet up on the screen for you to see. And it gets worse. As a matter of fact, they were on holiday out of the country at the time, and thus yet another lie by the Sussexes now exposed. I was not exactly surprised, as I knew this. I actually said as much in a story that I told in the form of a fairy tale. I had to tell the story like that, as I had to find a way to tell the story without exposing my source, as she could have lost her job if there was a hint that she spoke out. So, for those of you who have not heard the story, I'll post the link below. Anyway, that is neither here nor there. The fact is that the obstetrician who was said to have handled Archie's birth did not. Neither Harry nor Meghan or any of their security was at the Portland hospital the morning of the 6th of May 2019. And like I said, the obstetrician or doctor who was supposed to handle the birth was not signed in. The first person qualified to handle a birth that morning was signed in at round about 7 o'clock. Whomever that may have been, a midwife or doctor, my source did not say. Anyway, Why does the circumstances surrounding Archie's birth really matter to us? It matters because Archie is currently seventh in line to the throne. It matters because the Sussexes are again lying to the public. And it also potentially means that the birth certificate shown is false, wrong, or fake, and thus a fraud, which is illegal and which constitutes identity theft, which is a serious criminal offence. It matters because at this time there is no way the royal family cannot know about this, and until they own up to the truth, it leaves us with a general distrust of them. Initially, I sided with those who said that it was not the royal family's story to tell, but that Harry and Meghan are responsible and that they should tell the truth. But as it is clear that they won't, it leaves the other royals who are now living under the same cloud of mistrust and suspicion to be honest with us and to tell the truth. And I've said this before, it would be advisable that they do so as soon as possible, as we have now seen how far Meghan is prepared to go. And I'm willing to bet that as soon as it sinks in with her that she is done in Britain, or that Britain is done with her, she may very well give another interview telling the world that she was forced by the royals to be deceitful about Archie's birth. So that leaves us with the current pregnancy. I've heard from various people that she really is pregnant this time, but I'm sorry to say that I'm very suspicious of this pregnancy as well. And here is a series of photographs to highlight the reason for my suspicion. The first picture is a photo released with the announcement of the pregnancy. The second photo released is one released on Silver Tree's Instagram page, or Twitter, I'm not sure. The third one is a photograph of her during the Oprah interview. The fourth pic is the one they released themselves for Women's Day. The fifth one is one of Meghan in the chicken coop, and so is the sixth one, and so is the seventh one. Now, I cannot explain the bump appearing and disappearing. I cannot explain why the announcement bump, the bump in the chicken coop, and the bump in the Women's Day picture is larger than the one in the Oprah interview. I cannot explain why one moment in the chicken coop her bump is high and then moments later it is inches lower. I also cannot explain why the bump shines through her white blouse darker than the rest of her body. Well, according to information that I've received, it is not just us who had to blink twice at Meghan's bump, but that one of Oprah's crew saw something he was not supposed to see. And I'm told that what he saw was actually more of a problem that he experienced. You see, he had a continuity problem because between shots, the size of Meghan's bump and breast differed significantly. But, honest person that he is, he opened his mouth and he said something about it. And what he saw and what he said that day caused that all of Oprah's crew who were there that day had to sign non-disclosure agreements. And I will leave that there with you to mull about. Well, I guess we can now all agree once again it looks highly suspicious. However, we were informed on the Oprah interview that they are expecting a little girl in summer, which I would guess will be slap bang on Diana's birthday. And my prediction is that while William will be unveiling the statue of Diana, the newspapers will overshadow it with news on the birth of Harry and Meghan's second child. So let's see whether I'm right. I'm going to stop the video here. It is getting a bit long and I don't know whether you guys can hear. I'm a bit hoarse. I have to stop the recording every now and then to have a good cough once again. But it's the season. It's very dry, dusty, lots of wind, so it's more of an allergy than anything else. But I do hear a bit of thunder in the background, so hopefully we'll have some rain soon, and then all this sneezing and coughing will go away along with that. I'll be back. I'm not going to say within the next couple of hours again, because once again my inbox is still full and I'm trying to bring you as much information as I possibly can. But I will be back, say in the next day or so, to continue this conversation. Yeah, so I think that's it for now. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all your support, your email, and everything else, for your patience, most of all. Please take care of yourselves so I can welcome you back on the next one. And until then, bye.